Welcome to day 21 of the query folding challenge. For today's challenge, we are instructed to select order key, description, quantity, and a computed column called category, which evaluates the quantity column based on the following criteria: less than 100, between 100 and 250, and more than 250. We are using the wide world importers database for this challenge and the fact order table. So let's head over to Power BI. So we are in Power Query right here. The first step, as usual, is to connect to the data source. Go to the wide world importers database and select the fact order table. Then click on OK. Click on OK to import the data. Then just the first step, as usual, is just to select the columns you want to use for your analysis. Click on, I like copying this so I don't have to write it out. I'm a bit lazy, so that's fine. Makes my job easy. Go to the advanced editor and paste the names of the column. Then click on OK. Now we've been able to select the columns that we need without adding an extra step. The next step is to add the conditional column that we've been asked to add. At first, you may want to try using out the conditional column option that is here, but what we want to check if a value is between two ranges. We are unable to do that right here. We have else, if, this, then. We can't really compare if it's between a range. So we may need to add the custom column manually. So to do that, what we have to do is just go to add to custom column. That's one way to go about it. Another way to go about it is just click on the FX here, and now you can add your steps. So let's do that. So we use a table dot add column step, then we just expand this. We reference the previous step fact order, and now we need to provide the name of the new column. The name of the new column is to be called category. Category. Yeah. Up next, we need to pass the function that will generate the result for this column. So that's super easy for us to do. What we can do here now, since we are iterating through the column, we want to check each value and see if each value there is. Let's do if. Remember, we're using the quantity column. Quantity. If the quantity if quantity is less than 100, then we want to return less than 100. That's step one. So for step two now, we need to check if it's between 100 and 250. So we say else if quantity is greater than or equal to 100 and quantity is less than or equal to 250. Just to be on the safer side, I like wrapping this up in a bracket. If this is true, then we want to return between 100 and 250. Then the final step, which is, oh, I just clicked on the wrong, let me see. Yes. Where are you? So what we want to return next is just an else, right? So I can just say else. We want to say more than 250. More than 250. Then finally, we can just say the data type is just text, the type. So there's an error. I must have made a mistake somewhere. So let me see where I made the mistake. What's the error saying? The field quant. Oh, I spelled quantity wrongly somewhere here, right here. Yep. So this is working fine, absolutely fine. Just refresh data, nothing. There's nothing wrong with this. So we can just validate this to be sure that this is working fine. For more than 250, you can just select 250 and that all the values here, confirm that all the values here are more than 250. That's correct. We can repeat the same step for, let's say, between 100 and 250, just to be sure that all the values here are between 100 and 250. We say 100, then the value goes up to 250. It's very correct. And finally, we can validate that the values are less than 100. Click on OK, and we can check the values. So we have 3 up to 96. So this is awesome. We've been able to solve today's problem. Let me confirm. Yes, that's that we've been able to solve today's problem. You can just confirm that query folding is working fine. So view native query and you see what the result looks like. So I'm just going to take out the filter and rename this to add column. The name of the column we are adding here is called category. Category. Then view the query one more time. It's a simple, straightforward, and we've been able to solve today's challenge. So thank you for following. And before you leave, I just noticed something recently that for the challenge for day 5, I made a mistake. So let me not day 5, day 15 rather. The challenge for day 15. So let me go to day 15. Yeah, we are there. Now, when we did this challenge, include ties if applicable. So I made a mistake there. The final result I had didn't account for this particular condition. So I would like to just walk you through it. Since today's challenge is very short, we can just start looking at it and fix it so that you don't make that kind of mistake in the future like I did. Then you also know how to approach something like that when you see it. So we know that we are working with the same database. So we'll be selecting city, fact order, and fact sale. So I'll be going back to Power Query, connect to the database one more time. This is where I made the mistake last time. So when I had this like this, I just went to keep rows and I did keep top 10 rows, right? And that's a problem because the moment I keep the top 10 rows, remember that for each of these cities, like most of these cities here have average delivery days of 15, 15, 14. You see that the values are repeated, which was why the condition in the question says include ties if applicable. So if there are ties, I have to include all the cities that have the ties. If 100 cities have 18, for example, and 18 is the first, we have to include all those 100 cities. So to do that, we have to approach this problem differently. Instead of selecting the top 10 values here, which is wrong, what we need to do here is to look for a means to get the list of all the values in this column that helps us solve that problem. So let me show you how to go about it. So one way to go about it is to click on FX. So if we have this, we would want to get the list of average delivery days. Now this has given us the list of all the values that we have as average delivery days. And we can take out this step that sorted the value. It's not adding any value at the moment. Great. So we can now make sure that the values we have here are distinct, right? So we say list distinct. This gives us all the distinct values that we have in the list. Then we can sort this list, sort, want to sort these values, but we want to sort it in a descending order such that the largest values are at the top. Now you see that when you're looking at the average delivery days, now we have 18, 17, 16 down to 9. You get, this gives us the first time. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at cities that have these values as their average delivery days. That's our top 10, right? So we can, to get the top 10, we can just use the, what's it called, list select, or list first n. So you look at these values, right? So you can get your first 10, first 11, but that's not going to help us. That's not going to solve our problem. So what we want is a value, a single value that tells us the position that after this point, this is where your top 10 ends. For example, let me leave this step. Let me just say list of average delivery days. List of average delivery days. I can now add a new step. What this new step is going to do is, if I should input 0, 0 is going to give me the first item there. So remember, we want for example, if I want the 10th, I'll put input 9 since we're counting from 0. So this is the 10th item. But what I really want, for example, now, this will be like the 11th item. Do you see that? So if this is the 11th item, I can rename this to, for example, let's say limit. So this tells me I don't want all the values that are greater than 7, greater than or equal to 7, right? So I can use this to filter my data. So we can now add a new step, but this time around we'll be applying the filter to the previous step where we have the table, right? So we'll do table, remove column. Let me show you, remove columns. So remove columns is going to return our table for us the way it is at the moment. But now we need to apply a filter. So we do table, table select rows. Let me take this out. Table select rows. We refer to the remove column step. And now we say each. Remember, we're going to filter the average delivery days column. So we say each where the average 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 delivery days average delivery days is, what's the word for it? We want to, is greater than, or yeah, is greater than limit. Let's be sure I've not made a mistake. It's greater than limit. Yeah, this is 7, so we want all the values that are greater than the limit. Click on OK, and you see that a filter has been applied. You see 8, right? So we can now sort these values in ascending order. So you see that the result now is a bit different. So we have all the where 15 is replicated, 14 is replicated. So wherever there are ties, all the cities that have that value as the average delivery days will show up. You get it. So this was a mistake we made earlier. So you see that we now stop at 8. So if you check here, so you see, if we should count, you see 1, 2, 3. From 18 now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me sure I'm not making a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to adjust this. I need to adjust the limit with, this should be 10. Oh, that's true. Since we're counting from 0, that's true. That's true. That's true. So we're counting from 0, this would be 11. Yeah. So using 11, we take like 2 steps ahead. That's right. Correct. This is 8. So I'll come here. I can just rename this step to selected rows. selected, let's say selected top 10. Click on OK, because this is where we get our top 10 from. Then finally, okay, this is still loading. Then finally, we just sorted the results and we have the results right here. So if we should confirm now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. So this is the correct solution for this particular challenge. So I'm hoping that anybody that watched challenge for the challenge for day 15 will make it to day 20 and watch this video. Since I don't want to take out that video, it won't make sense. And some people have already watched it, so I'll keep this so you see this. So today's challenge is like kind of two in one, since it's very important that I correct that mistake that I made, right? So this is how you approach this kind of problem, especially when you have ties here. And I think so far in the challenge, we see that lists are very important. List functions, because list functions helps us to perform some tasks in the background, get the result we want, and then use that result to filter our data. Then we can confirm that query folding is still enabled and working fine. So still loading. Yes. So query folding is still working very, very fine. So if there's anything here, let's see average delivery day. So we've solved that problem and the issue we had before is done. So thank you for staying along and watching till the end. I really appreciate. You can subscribe to the channel, like the video, or share the video with your friends, right? It will mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.